The New York Knicks are in the finals. After years and years and years of being a poverty franchise, it all changed in 2022, July, where they signed a Jalen Brunson who was playing behind a Luka Doncic, who immediately came in and made an impact. There's a lot of hope. They're like, can Jalen Brunson be a starting guard in this league? And he delivered right away, jumping from 16 points per game to 24 points per game and taking the Knicks alongside Julius Randle to the 5 seed where they beat the Cavs, lost against the Heat, but that was, playoff Jimmy on a heater. He was going to the finals. And this was really a sign that Jalen Brunson is the guy for the future, and he's here to stay, and he's going to make a difference here. In the following years after Jalen Brunson, came to New York and was absolutely doing his thing, the Knicks made various levels of trades to help acquire role players alongside Jalen Brunson. And I think the most interesting one to talk about is the Mikal Bridges trade. Setting four unprotected first round picks for Mikal Bridges, a player who averages, in the 15 points per game range, and he gives you really solid defense, but he's not the all defensive level that he used to be when he was, Mikal Jail back for Phoenix. But how he's been playing in these playoffs has been really, really good. I mean, everyone's clicking at the right time. But Mikal Bridges is someone who, at the first round when he's playing against Atlanta, I was very critical on because he was playing very poorly in those first couple games, but so greatly he clicked in, and he's finally, contributing to this team instead of just doing his fadeaway mid-range shot that he always does. He drives to the basket and turns around and fades against everybody. And that shot, he works on that shot. That's his go-to shot. He does it really well. But I'm tired of seeing that. I need him to go for layups, and that's what he's been doing. He's been, changing up his shot that a little bit, taking more catch and shoot threes, layups, and not just that mid-range fadeaway shot. And he's really been providing a lot of role player necessities that you really need in this league. And he's showing why he was traded for in the first place. And then this whole slate of like this bad trade, I was thinking of making a video about why this trade is so awful, but this can all be wiped away if the Knicks can actually go out here and do this for the finals. Unlike the Mikal Bridges trade, the OG Anunoby trade has aged so perfectly. RJ Barrett and Emmanuel Quickley, they were on the playoff team with the Raptors. Emmanuel Quickley didn't play, but they were doing their own thing. But OG Anunoby is playing like the perfect role player. And it's not even, I feel, it doesn't even feel right to say role player when you're talking about OG Anunoby because of how versatile and amazing he is. He can shoot. He's a great cutter. He's an he's an all world defensive player. Like, he made all defensive second team. And he definitely has a case every year for first team. He just, he gets injured pretty often, and he does have some ups and downs when he's playing. But OG Anunoby is an absolute elite defender. I mean, I love watching OG Anunoby play. He's become an easily fan favorite of mine. He doesn't mess up. He does everything right. He's always open for catch and shoot. He's always positioning himself for cuts and open dunks, and he's just playing great on-ball defense and causing turnovers for the opposing team. And sure, Emmanuel Quickley and RJ Barrett are pretty solid young talents, and sure, RJ Barrett offensively is probably better than OG Anunoby statistically wise, but OG Anunoby is a player that through the first two rounds of the playoffs, I would consider him the best player for the Knicks. He was averaging like 22 points per game on like 66% shooting from the field and like 50% from three. This is an absolute unit of a player, and he really turns it up playoff time every time. In moments where it's big, OG Anunoby delivers, and that's what he's been doing all playoffs. Sure, like, after he like hurt his hamstring a little bit, he was playing a little poorly, but he's coming off an injury, and he's getting so much rest now because they've been sweeping everybody. The Knicks are just clicking so well, and OG Anunoby is giving this time to rest because he has all this back end help, and he's going to be able to come back and really in the finals give his full value. And OG Anunoby is such a fantastic player, and he doesn't get as much credit and love as he deserves because he is kind of like he's not doing anything off the dribble. He's not a super highlight guy. He'll be sitting on the dunker spot waiting for the right timing to cut, grab the catch the ball, dunk it, or he'll just be hitting catch and shoot threes. But this guy is electric. He's the perfect player to put aside any star player in the league, and especially alongside Jalen Brunson, who lacks perimeter defensively. He is the perfect player to put alongside pretty much any superstar in this league. And you can't mention the Knicks without talking about Josh Hart, an absolute unit of a player, the ultimate glue guy. You see his chemistry with Jalen Brunson. They got that podcast, roommates. Went to the same college together back in Villanova. They call them the Nova Boys. There's so much chemistry here, and I really do. I think that is the most undervalued, like, media-wise archetype in the league. those players that are glue guys who keep the team connected. Josh Hart doesn't matter. He doesn't care if he's starting or if he's coming off the bench. He'll give you the same energy and same production no matter what. And that's what's so valuable, that he's able to play behind these players. He's able to provide the rebounding value, the scoring value. He's been shooting 40% from three this year, and he made them pay in one of the Cavs games. He dropped about 26 points, and he hit a million 3-point shots, playoff career high. And he shows his value every night. And you cannot talk about this team without talking about the heart and soul that is Josh Hart. And he's really just a fantastic player that anyone would love to have on their team. And the Knicks have so many guys like that. Joshua Hart is just one example of the heart that is on this team. And the big cherry on top, Big Purr, one of the best shooting bigs of all time, who they acquired with a trade with Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo heading over to the Minnesota Timberwolves. He has been a player that I love Karl-Anthony Towns. I've been very critical of him, and I've seen him play so many years, and I just see the dumb mistakes that he makes, and it frustrates me because his talent level is so high. He's probably the best shooting big that we've probably ever seen 3-point shooting wise, besides Dirk hit that mid range shot. But he's really shown his shooting value and offensive value when he's going at it and he's hot and he's going and scoring and scoring and scoring. He seems like one of the most unstoppable offensive players of all time. But you know, we see his defensive woes, his turnover problems, his fouling problems, his defensive problems. It's been really big, especially alongside Jalen Brunson. When you're two superstars, you have to hide defensively, and especially when one's a big man, it's very hard to do. But with Karl-Anthony Towns in this playoffs, he's been a great decision maker, a great passer, great scorer. He hasn't scoring at an insane volume, but he's been doing it pretty well and drawing fouls and getting at the free throw line. When you're a great shooter, that's something that you should always be doing. And then he's also been a passing hub, like completely transformed his game. He said Magic is his favorite player, and he's just passing, dishing it out, and doing all this fantastic stuff on the court that he really wasn't seen as, because he's always been seen as kind of a score first, rebound type of player. But now he's just doing everything at all different levels, and he's being the best defensive player that he's ever been in his life. I mean, this is the best defensive run we've ever seen from Karl-Anthony Towns. He's in great positioning. He's contesting shots, and he's not being a liability. And that's something I worried about when he was going against the Cavs. When you have two bigs and Evan Mobley and Jared Allen being set up by James Harden, that just seems like a recipe to go against Karl-Anthony Towns. But lo and behold, he's playing at a level that he's never been able to really achieve before, and it's clicking all at the right time. And now they're in the finals, and if he can keep that up, you can't count out this Knicks team. The big difference between this team and last year's New York Knicks team is this team actually has proper bench rotation. They have a Landry Shamet who is shooting like Steph Curry coming off the bench. They have a Deuce McBride who is a great defensive guard with a long wingspan who can score pretty well, especially alongside other offensive opportunities like Karl-Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson. He can get his. And then you have a Mitchell Robinson who can swallow the glass, get all the rebounds, be a menace defensively, and they have to hack you and foul you to get you out the game because you're being that impactful. And when you have a player who is that impactful and their main downside is free throws, which he shoots very badly, I mean, that's just an amazing bench big to come out and play for you and get you open shots when the whole team can hit 3-point shots except him, and all he has to do is just get the offensive rebound and pass it out to an open three. Absolutely easy offense. And the big difference is Mike Brown is trusting these guys. The new coaching for this team, Tom Thibodeau, I don't want to say he's the problem, but he's definitely an old style coach. You can't just play your guys like 45 minutes a game and expect results. Your guys are going to be gassed, and you're not going to be able to finish out a game, even if you do have a Jalen Brunson. But having this rest and opportunity for people to come in and be fresh throughout the whole game, Jalen Brunson can come in and not have to play a full game. He can have moments where he's on the bench and Deuce McBride and Landry Shamet is out there. And that's the insane value that this team does have compared to last season. And that's why they're clicking so well, because they actually have opportunity to rest. This team is number one in almost every major statistic in the playoffs: offensive rating, defensive rating, rebounding, assists, you name it, they're leading in it. And this is very reminiscent of last year's Pacers, where throughout the regular season, they were a solid team, a solid playoff team. They were going to come out here, maybe win a round or two. And, if they're in the conference finals, they would consider that a win. But this team, while they were like not mediocre, they were still a really good team throughout the regular season. They were not playing at this level. And they're getting hot at the right time. And this is playoff performing. And one thing that's always been labeled as Jalen Brunson is a playoff performer. He's always been a playoff performer. He always rises to the occasion. You saw that when they came back from a 22-point deficit against the Cavs in game 1 to show, yeah, we're here. They 22-point deficit in the fourth quarter, 7 minutes to go. This team is clicking at the right time, and I'm not going to make the same mistake that I made with the Pacers last year, where I wrote them off because I didn't think they were as talented as an OKC team in the finals. This team can compete with OKC and San Antonio Spurs. I wouldn't take them as the favorite to win, but I'm not going to count them out. Like if I had a pie chart at the start of the playoffs, I would say the Knicks had like a 5% chance of winning the finals. After seeing how they performed ever since the Atlanta Hawks series, which by the way, they're only two CJ McCollum game winners away from having a perfect win schedule this whole series, this whole playoff run. And that's just like, that's insane because those games were the games that they were winning, and CJ McCollum hits a game winning shot on them 2 times. But if you give me the pie chart now and you have to tell me to pick what percentage chance I have of the Knicks winning the finals, I would put like a 30%, which might sound low, but they are going as Victor Wembanyama or the MVP and Shai Alexander. But that might sound low, but 30% chance is a really, really, really good percent chance of winning the finals. And I can't wait to watch the Knicks play and see how they perform against the Western Conference, finalists, whoever that is. As we're recording this, is not yet known. OKC's up 3-2, but this Knicks team is real. Shout out Captain Brunson, born to play basketball.